My heart keeps going back to Nashville.
Hi, my name is Ann Truger, and I'm the Director of Educational Technology Innovations for Waukegan Public Schools in Illinois. I've had the privilege since 2007 of being a DEN Star and also serving as a DEN Leadership Council member. Today, I'd like to show you on the Discovery Ed website a place in the blogs called Spotlight on Strategies, also known as SOS. SOS is a great place for you to find lots of different strategies and ideas of ways to use Discovery streaming content that go beyond just showing a video or showing an image and discussing it. The strategy that I'd like to focus on today is called Tweet Tweet. Tweet Tweet actually focuses on Twitter. Twitter is a social media tool that you use to share information. You can only share 140 characters at a time. Now, why would this be an effective strategy in schools? Well, Robert Marzano, a famed educational philosopher, has told us that someone who is an effective learner is someone who can sift through a great deal of information, pull out the important parts, and then restate these things in their own words. Twitter requires you to just do that. With only 140 characters, you have to really understand what it is, what the point is you're trying to get across. So I will be working with a 4th grade class. We'll be doing a unit on electricity. And I'm going to introduce them to the idea of Twitter, and we're going to be following the Tweet Tweet strategy. So stay tuned.
Good morning, boys and girls.
Good morning.
Hi, I am here to talk to you about electricity. I hear you guys have been doing some experiments with electricity.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So have you learned a lot about electricity?
Yes.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So we're gonna be talking about switches and circuits, moving electricity from one place to another. We're going to do this a little differently because I'm sure that a lot of times you guys see a video and you just see a video, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do this a little bit differently, and what we're going to do is you have 4 post-it notes on your desk.
Yeah.
Okay? We're going to do a strategy called Tweet Tweet. Tweet Tweet. Tweet Tweet. Twitter, very good. I was wondering if anybody would know what that was. Tweet, tweet, Twitter, exactly. So you've got 4 things on your table here. First thing I want to know is how many people have heard of Twitter? Raise your hand. Good. Now, how many people, put your hands down, know what Twitter actually is? Okay, all right. How many people have watched TV and seen hashtags? Right? Do you know what a hashtag is? No? Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit first about what Twitter is. Okay? Twitter is something called social media. Okay? It's kind of like Facebook or like MySpace used to be. Some of your older brothers and sisters may have talked about that. But what Twitter is you only get a certain number of letters to say what you want to say. You get 140 characters, which is kind of like a long sentence, and that's it. So when you use Twitter, you actually have to really think about what it is you want to tell people. Now, when you're in Twitter, okay, when you're on Twitter, you have a handle, okay? So you're going to make up a Twitter handle. Okay? To make up a Twitter handle, all you're going to do, it can be whatever you want it to be as long as it's appropriate. Okay? You guys know what appropriate means, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, my Twitter handle, see that funny little A there? That's the @ symbol, exactly. So, my Twitter handle today is Techie Truger. Okay, so if you saw that, would you know it was me?
Yes.
How would you know it was me?
Because you wrote it.
I like the hand up.
Because
Because it has Truger in it, right? What does this tell you about me?
you like technology.
That I like technology. Very good. So on your purple Post-it note, take out your pencil, and I want you to try and draw the @ symbol. Okay, it's just like an A with a circle. And then I want you to write down your Twitter handle for today. This will be your Twitter handle for today. You're going to make one up.
Oh, cool.
So maybe yours, you like the Chicago Bears? So maybe yours is @BearsFan1.
Oh, okay.
All right, you get it? All right. Okay, so first of all, we look at this movie title. Switches and circuits, moving electricity from one place to another. What do you think this movie is going to be about? Well, let's not tell me. Let's write it down on one of our Post-it notes. And remember, this is one long sentence. That's as long as it can be. It can't be a whole paragraph, just one quick sentence. Show of hands if you're finished writing your first question. Okay, I'll give you another minute. All right, good. So we're going to go ahead and move on. We're going to watch this movie, Switches and Circuits, Moving Electricity from One Place to Another. And this is a video from Discovery Education.
Businesses. There are really two sets of wires and cables that come from a power plant and go into a home. One set carries electricity from the power plant to homes and other places where it's needed, and the other carries electricity back to the power plant. Together, they form a kind of loop called a circuit. An electric current travels in a circuit. It can only go to where it is needed if it can get back to where it started.
Look at this image, and now I want you to write one fact about this image. Think about the movie that we're listening to. Think about the information. Think about what you know about electricity. And write one fact as a tweet. Tweet me one fact about electricity.
Bulb. Inside the bulb, there is a very thin wire. As electricity flows through this wire, it gets very hot.
Now I know you guys have done some experiments. So now I want you to write a tweet about what's happening with that picture. What happened in your experiment? Tell me something that happened. Tell me a fact.
Yep.
What do you think's going to happen next? Ask a question on your Post-it note for me. There you go.
Seconds.
So who wants to tell me what's going to happen?
I think it's going to work because the clip is metal.
Okay,
What
let's
happens
see.
when you put a paper clip on top of the two screws? The bulb lights up.
Good
The
job.
bulb lights up because
Do you see any switches in your classroom? I want you to write me a tweet about those switches. I have a question, and let's see if somebody can respond to me as a tweet. So I'm going to say at Ms. Van Lanningham's class. Okay, so I did a little at. Okay.
Why not just choose one of us?
What did you learn today? Who wants to respond? Now, don't forget to use my Twitter handle. So, at Techie Truger.
That we learned today that the wires are separated, and if you put a paper clip between the two wires, the power source will connect and it will run.
Okay, excellent. What else?
At Techie Truger, I learned that it's dangerous to be an electrician, so you have to wear rubber gloves and sleeves.
Excellent. One more.
Hey, at Techie Truger, I learned that rubber doesn't make a light bulb light up.
All right, excellent. Well, you guys did a great job, and I love these tweets, and I think that Ms. Van Lanningham, they've got some really good information on here, and I bet you can later go through and just kind of group them and categorize what they've learned. So thank you very much for letting me teach your class today, and you guys were
My heart
fabulous.
keeps going
Thank you.
back to Nashville. That's